They switched sides. You switched levels. Ain't that wild? Nah, like, sit with that for a second. That's not just a sentence, that's a whole damn plot twist. 1 minute, you're building dreams with people you thought were solid. Next minute, they ghost, flip, vanish like they were never in your corner to begin with. It's crazy how people can smile in your face while secretly praying for your downfall. They laughed with you, ate with you, clapped when you clapped. But the moment your rise became too loud for their comfort, boom, they rewrote the script. They ain't switched sides for no reason. They switched because your light started to expose the shadows they were hiding in. And instead of leveling up with you, they chose the easier route, betrayal. But here's the twist they didn't see coming. While they were busy switching lanes, doubting your drive, underestimating your fire, you were silently upgrading, silently learning, silently building. Every fake hug, every shady glance, every quiet exit, you used it like fuel. While they played checkers, you were mastering chess. You weren't just watching them switch sides. You were planning your next level, brick by damn brick. It ain't even wild anymore, to be honest. It's poetic. They left thinking you'd fall, but all they really did was clear space for your next breakthrough. You didn't just survive the betrayal, you evolved through it. And now they gotta watch you from the sidelines like fans who lost their backstage pass. That's what happens when loyalty meets legacy. That's what happens when a storm-born soul outgrows the noise. So yeah, they switched sides, but you leveled the hell up. And that's not just wild, that's legendary. Nah, you didn't fold. Ha ha ha. That's what they were waiting for, right? That quiet little breakdown. That moment you'd crumble, snap, fade into the same shadows they ran to. But you flipped the entire script. You didn't fold. You transformed. While they stood on the sidelines, feeding you isolation like poison, thinking you'd choke on it, you turned it into a 5-course meal. They thought leaving you alone would be your downfall, but that silence, that stillness, it became your power plant. Solitude didn't starve you. It fed you a new kind of strength. It stripped away the noise, the lies, the fake love, and left you face to face with the one person they could never compete with. You walked through that cold, lonely quiet like a damn warrior. Heavy steps, yeah, but louder thoughts. Each echo bouncing off the walls was a reminder you're still here. You're still breathing. You're still building. And in that echo chamber of silence, something magical happened. You didn't just find yourself, you heard yourself. The real you, the raw you, not the version that had to shrink for their comfort, not the watered down one who needed applause to feel alive. Nah, that version died. You heard the unfiltered, unapologetic beast that had been caged behind doubt and betrayal. And what did that inner legend say? It's time. No more waiting. No more seeking permission. No more hoping they come back to validate your greatness. You realized they were never the point. You were always the point. Always the storm. Always the force. So you rose. Quietly, powerfully, unshakably. And the best part? They'll never understand how you survived. Because they still think silence breaks people. But you turn silence into symphony. And That's something only legends do. You ain't the same person. Nah, not even close. That soft-hearted version, the one who gave chances like candy, the one who saw the best in people even when they showed you the worst, he's gone, dead and buried, because pain don't just break you, it reshapes you. You didn't just go through it, you grew through it. That soft version of you, the one that kept hoping, kept trusting, kept holding on to the fake ones, he didn't survive the fire. He burned. And from those ashes, this new version rose. They don't recognize you anymore, and that's the point. They stare like, damn, what happened to him? But the real ones know. The real ones saw the war you went through. They know you ain't heartless. You're just done playing the fool. You ain't cruel. You're just done giving your softness to people who don't know how to hold it. This new version of you, he's not here for peace. He's here for purpose. No more apologizing for being intense. No more shrinking to fit fragile egos. You're louder in your silence now than they ever were in their noise. That's what happens when you rise through betrayal. You become unstoppable. Not because you wanted revenge, but because you finally found the power they tried to bury. Every win you secure, it echoes. Every elevation, it's loud, but not in volume, in vibe. They can feel it. Every time your name crosses their mind, it burns a little, because the one they left behind didn't just survive. He became a damn force of nature. You walk into a room, and they feel it in their chest. Your presence, it carries weight now. Not because you're loud, but because you built your power in the dark, while they were out seeking attention in the light. And your absence, it haunts them. It's funny, isn't it, when you were available, too kind, too giving, too present, they didn't value it. But now that you're gone, now that you pulled all that golden energy back, it's heavy. It's unsettling. They scroll past your silence, trying to read between the lines of a life that no longer includes them, wondering, how the hell did he get so strong without us? They don't get it. You were never the noise. You were the pulse, the core, the momentum. And now, they don't just miss you. They feel your absence like gravity shifted. They pretend not to care, but every win of yours punches a hole through their fake peace. That's the paradox. You move in silence, but your silence, it's a roar. It's pressure, it's presence, it's power. So no, you don't move with noise. You move with force. And they feel every damn ripple of it. They see you now. Oh, believe that. The ones who once overlooked you, underestimated you, talked over you, now they squint when your name pops up. Not because you raised your voice, not because you begged for attention. Nah, you didn't have to scream to be seen. You just kept rising. Quietly, ruthlessly, brilliantly. And your level, it's blinding now. Too damn bright to ignore. Now they're trying to decode your playbook, trying to study your glow like it's a science project, trying to reverse engineer the moves you made in silence. But here's the punchline. Legends ain't copy-paste. This glow, it wasn't gifted. It was earned in the dark, in the pain, in the trenches where no one clapped and no one saw. They think they can mimic it, but they weren't there in the silence that shaped it. They weren't there when you had to choose between breaking and becoming. They weren't there when you bled for every level you climb. So, yeah, they can copy your style, your captions, your vibe, but they'll never duplicate the soul behind it. That part ain't for sale. You lit that fire your damn self, no match, no lighter, just raw will and a refusal to stay down. They thought betrayal would break you. Instead, it built you, brick by scarred brick. You didn't need approval. You needed purpose. And now that you've stepped into this version of you, ooh, they ain't ready. Not even close. Because this version doesn't flinch, doesn't blink when storms come, doesn't shrink when the spotlight hits. This version doesn't apologize for glowing too bright, doesn't explain success, doesn't beg to be understood. Why? Because legends don't explain. Legends show up. Shift the energy in the room, shift timelines, shift perspectives. They change the temperature without saying a word, and when they leave, the air remembers. The vibe shifts, the silence echoes. You feel that? That heavy silence that follows your name in certain conversations? That pause in their breath when someone says, "You're winning again." That's not confusion. That's not fear. That's respect. The real kind, not the fake Instagram-like claps, not the nods people give when they're watching you too close. No. The kind that hits different, the kind you never begged for, but earned in the dark. The kind that's carved in stone, not just posted in captions. It's the kind that shakes rooms, that changes moods, that flips the energy in a circle. You carry it now. And they can feel it even in your silence, especially in your silence. Because what you built, it wasn't just a comeback, it was a legacy. And oh, the best part, the part that really messes with their head, you didn't even have to destroy them. You didn't plot. You didn't scheme. You didn't lower your level to get revenge. You just rose. Quietly, consistently, unapologetically. You didn't throw dirt. You turned it into soil and planted yourself deeper. And they expected war, expected chaos, expected you to swing back wild. But nah. You just became too massive for their world, too evolved, too elevated, too damn rare. You didn't crush them. You just outgrew everything they tried to hold you down with. Betrayal became your building blocks. Rumors became background noise. Lies, you outlived every single one of them. With success, with grace, with silence that screamed louder than any defense you could have made. And that's what eats them up. That they tried to erase you, and all they did was highlight you. They buried you, and you sprouted roots. They mocked your name, and now they whisper it. They slammed the door, and you built your own kingdom with no door at all. You outgrew the betrayal. Didn't even flinch when they flipped. You outran the rumors, didn't waste breath on denial, just kept building. You outlived the lies by thriving in full view of the same ones who swore you wouldn't. And now you walk into rooms they can't even enter. You speak in energies they don't understand. You vibrate on a frequency that exposes everything they tried to keep hidden. And the best part? You did it without vengeance, without screaming, without breaking a damn thing. Yeah, let that sink in. Let it sting. Let it echo in the corners of their silence. Let it live rent-free in the same minds that once doubted you. Because that's the real win. Not clapping back, not dragging them down, but rising so high they can't even reach your shadow. You didn't destroy them. And now Now they whisper your name in rooms you've never even entered. Imagine that. Your name travels before your footsteps. Your glow, it leaks into conversations that were never meant for you because your impact makes its own invitation. People you've never met are quoting your energy. They're watching from afar, replaying your moves like myth. That's how loud your silence became. That's how big your name grew when you stopped trying to be seen and started becoming undeniable. Because here's the truth that separates you from the noise. You're not trending. You're timeless. And yeah, there's a difference. Trends, they're loud, temporary, forgettable. They flash, they fade, they live for likes and die by tomorrow. But timelessness, that's legacy. That's DNA. That's etched into time. It don't scream, it echoes. It doesn't beg to be viral, it becomes vital. Trends exist to entertain. Timelessness exists to inspire. And you became the echo that lives on. A symbol of what happens when betrayal meets brilliance, when pain meets purpose, when storms meet legends. They had the same hours as you, the same 24, the same sun, the same calendar, same chances to turn their story into something legendary. You weren't gifted extra time. You weren't handed an advantage. Life gave everyone the same clock, but it's what you did with yours that changed everything. While they spent their hours talking, watching, comparing, gossiping, you were grinding, quietly, consistently, ruthlessly. They chose to waste the moment. You chose to own it. While they were avoiding the storm, you were becoming it. You needed that dark silence that only the chosen ones understand, that eerie quiet where your thoughts scream louder than any crowd ever could. That lonely zone where nothing makes sense except your mission. That's the realm where legends are born, not in applause, not in likes, but in silence that feels like war. That's where you sharpened your edge. That's where you found out who the hell you really are. In their nightmares, rent-free, you haunt them now, not because of revenge, not because you clapped back, but because your existence became too loud for their peace. Every breath you take with confidence is a reminder of how wrong they were. Every win of yours is a wound on their ego. You didn't need to get even, you just kept elevating. And that's the sweetest kind of justice. Not revenge, just rising, effortlessly, relentlessly. Every scar sharpens steel. Every betrayal, a new chamber loaded with purpose. Every rumor, every lie, every fake friend, you turned that all into ammunition. You became the force, the pressure, the storm. Now you don't fear the battlefield, you are the battlefield. So laugh. Not because it's funny, but because it's finished. You didn't break. You became the weapon, the wave, the one thing they never saw coming. Let them sit in silence. You'll be too busy echoing through time. If they don't get it, they weren't supposed to. If they walked away, let them. If they doubt you, good. Let them choke on the silence of their own confusion. You're not here to convince. You're here to conquer. And explaining, that's not in your vocabulary anymore. You don't explain purpose to people who live on autopilot. You don't break down your moves for spectators who never had the courage to make one themselves. What you're building, it's too divine to require explanation. Legends don't explain, they show up. They move different. They exist with such power that the world has no choice but to adjust. Because now, You evolve. You adapt without noise. You grow without warning. You take the pain, the pressure, the betrayal, and you upgrade constantly, quietly, dangerously. They don't see the process, but they feel the result. You build from scratch, from silence, from the ashes they left you in. You craft an empire brick by brick while they're still stuck talking about the dust. You aren't just surviving anymore, you're constructing legacy. Long-term, unshakable, untouchable. And that scares them more than any words ever could. Because they wanted you gone, out, forgotten, like you never existed. They tried to black out your presence with silence, with betrayal, with rumors, with lies. They threw dirt on your name, thinking it would stick, thinking it would bury you. But all they did was fertilize the very soil your roots were growing in. They didn't realize what you try to erase in hate. The universe remembers in purpose, but instead of vanishing, you went global. You expanded, blew past every small box they tried to trap you in. You went from overlooked to undeniable, from shadowed to spotlighted. You didn't just survive, you became a movement, a walking legacy. They changed circles, and you changed the game. You outgrew the limits they put on your name. You outpaced the lies, and now you outshine the ones who once claimed to know you. They tried to erase your name, but now it's etched into minds, burned into timelines. It shows up in rooms your feet haven't touched, in conversations they swore you'd never be a part of. Your story, it's not just a comeback, it's curriculum. They study you now, not out of love, out of disbelief, out of awe, out of that soul-burning regret. They tried to break you, and maybe they did, for a moment, but what they didn't realize is when you break a legend, the pieces don't scatter. They sharpen. You didn't fall apart, you reforged. So here's what you do now. You walk like a storm, not rushed, not loud, but powerful. Controlled, every step felt, every move watched. You smile like you've already won because deep down you have, the war's over, and your peace is the trophy. Move like they're watching, because trust me, they are. The same ones who doubted you, who left, who tried to break you. They're tuned in now, watching your every move in silence, hoping to understand how you turned pain into power. And you don't owe them anything. Win so quietly that it haunts them. Win so calmly that they choke on their own doubt. And when the whispers grow, when the questions hit their peak and they finally ask, how did he do it? You look them dead in the eye. Not with anger, not with pride, but with truth, and say, you left me no choice. That's the real revenge. Not noise, not rage, not getting even. Evolution. That quiet growth they never saw coming, because the loudest revenge is success in silence. Let them talk. Let them spin their little stories. Let them sit in circles trying to decode who you've become. But don't ever explain. Just become more focused, more powerful, more legendary. Because legends, we don't chase validation. We chase destiny. In you, you're already walking in it. So let them watch. You switch levels. And they switch lanes. Right into irrelevance. Now go, burn brighter, and never, ever look back.